Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Amanda and today I'm playing with my Counterfeit Kit challenge for baby user scraps for our creative team and using Christie's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches for series 19, and this sketch is from Miss Carrie and links and stuff will be below. And I'm gonna scrapbook these 3 pictures of my oldest when she was a first year brownie. And these are all my scraps left over from my kit. I will have one more page posted tomorrow than I did before this one, but yeah, it just was the way it worked out. But anywho, so I'm just playing around with some of my scraps to see what I could use. That heart one is super cute and I'm thinking about it, but I have these camera ones that are here and I'm totally going to use it. So just sorting out what I think I could use. That it's not that brownie paper. I'm like, nope. But the rest of it's not horrible. So I'm just pulling some of the stuff aside. You can see that I do have some cardstock that I threw in there. All this brown that's all from really old paper I have actually. I'm not going to use. I did decide while I was looking at the white that it wasn't making my white pop. So I didn't want white on white. So I picked out the blue to match the blue of Matea's shirt, and yeah, we're getting started right away. It looks like this inside piece is probably a square, so I'm going to use a square. And so this ends up being 8.5 square, which works out pretty good. This piece of paper, I tried to do something else on it at one point, and there's a line on it, and you can see that white smudge is actually torn paper. It's just going to get covered up, but not a big deal. I ink that in prize ribbon so that it gives that scrap a pop. And then I'm trying to decide what else I want to do. So that blue matched that blue, but it was going to get lost. I have that other blue piece of paper that I made. This pink one's pretty cute, and I'm thinking, maybe there. Just playing around with the pieces and seeing. I like this one a little bit more. And yeah. I'm going to pull out a tag because there's tags in the sketch, but I really do like making tags out of my scraps. So I am going to pull out this one and make a scrap out of it. And this is going to be a full tag, which is awesome. So that is going to get my journaling. And then I could have used that piece on this layout too, but I don't. You can see how I'm using my tag die to cut this one, and I don't have much paper there, but it gives the illusion that I have a full tag. And the same with this one. I have a scrap of inked cardstock and I can give the illusion of a full tag. And I love doing that with scraps because there's only the tiniest bit left over from those 2 pieces and they'll just go into the recycling bin, but man, does that ever work well. So this page was done entirely with scraps, except for my one background page that is the blue cardstock. I'm going to cut this down to, I think it's 4 by 5. And then these I'm going to put to the side because I definitely have enough scraps on here already. So I have a little more scraps left over than sometimes I do. Usually when I create, I like to try and use, especially when I'm using a kit, I use some of the scraps as I go. And I did this month too, but I also knew that I was actually on the scraps challenge for the design team, so I did make sure that I definitely had enough scraps to do a scraps layout, because yeah, it would have been horrible if I got to the end and I wouldn't have had scraps. So I'm just cutting these down. I have little stick it tabbies on the pictures because I don't know who these girls are and they probably just don't want their faces randomly up on the internet, so I just cover them up and then it's not a big deal. If I know families are okay or friends are okay with their picture being up on my channel, then it's not a big deal. If I don't know, this is what happens, and then I'll put little like icons over the faces too. So using some cardstock scraps, so just putting a little bit of black around these pictures just to make them pop. And I really do like the way that definitely makes this layout for those photos definitely pop off the screen. So, and then I am literally just doing it by cutting my, like my paper cutter is right there, but scissors, why not? Is what it is. Sometimes I'm all about my paper cutter and sometimes I'm not. So this one was easier to do with my paper cutter. So I am cutting a little bit off of this. This is from the Take a Break collection from Scrap a Sketch, as well as the pink piece and the cameras actually all came from that collection. And then the blue stripe piece came from a different collection from Scrap a Sketch. And then the other blue tag I actually made with this stencil that I'm showing you right now, which is a Crafter's Workshop one. And underneath, I'm going to put prize ribbon on the to-do tag. I'm not entirely sure what color that's in, but I made that paper in one of the layouts at the beginning of the month. So you could go and take a look and see. I probably tell you what the ink is there. So, and then I decided I needed more. So this one's an easy one to layer, so that works out really well. And there. Just get rid of my pencil lines. A white eraser is an excellent tool to have in your stash. And then I'm going to get this on straight. And so I put it on, I moved my ruler, didn't realize moved my ruler, got it on, and then I was like, oh, that's not quite straight. So I'm going to try it one more time right away because I'm like, what did I do? There we go. It's one of those days. But and then getting this centered, top and or left and right, not quite centered top and bottom, but close enough that I am not super worried about it. I did want it centered left and right, so. And then getting these on. Excuse myself. And then, so that works like that. And then this pink one, again, is going to get my journaling. And the other ones are just glued right to the back of that cardstock mat. And then I'm just going to make a pocket with foam dots or squares. And I'm just going to get these all situated, and then I'll put some more on so that it has the support to stay. And then I'm not going to show you take all these little ones off because it took me a while. So this layout took me probably almost an hour to do. I was scrapbooking a little slow today and just being, yeah, okay. Not necessarily slow. It just feels slow when you have a sketch, I guess, because you know where you're going to put stuff, which takes some of the thinking out. And I really like having sketches for that because I don't have to be like, what am I going to do? How am I going to, like, starting fresh? Not that I don't enjoy starting fresh and doing my own thing too, but sketches can be fun that way. And so I'm pulling some stuff out of what I pulled for my kit. And so that toadstool is super cute. And I made these on my forgeries of the 4th. And yay, I'm going to use one of them. So I didn't use all of my forgeries this month, but I did use almost. So I have a bunch of the wax seals that are left, but I used the background paper and I used all those worlds that I made if you watched my forgeries video. And yay, I got a wax seal. And I have more I can use now. So just going through all of the different things that I have sitting here to see if I can use something else on here. I thought about this for a little bit. but I feel like things were getting a little bit lost. And I'm going to pull out the light blue of these clips, and I'm going to put that through the tag hole of the one that will get the journaling, because I thought that would be cool. And actually using one of those, which I think are, well, I know are super old. So how old? I don't know. But I'm going to pull the Happy Day out of here. And I thought about using the Camera in the World, but the coppery color, I didn't really feel worked too well. So I'm just still going through things. I was looking in this one because there's like tea and stuff, and as a brownie, part of their ceremony was baking them as a brownie, and they went through this little drama where they came out as full-fledged brownies. So I was trying to see if there's anything in there that I could allude to the brownie part of things, but there wasn't. But I was hoping. So you can see I decided not with the wood veneer. And I'm looking at, these are the take a break embellishments, cut apart kind of things. And then I decided this is getting lost, so I'm going to put it on some cardstock and fussy cut around. And magic of editing, it is going to be done. Woohoo! And then easily glued on then. I'm going to commit to these three things up here. And I pulled out this acetate piece, and it has a layer on it, so I took the layer off after I cut it, which took a long time to take off because I did it that way. So I'd suggest if you're going to use both pieces, taking it off before you cut it. But they get tucked in kind of the same spot where Carrie has her embellishment clusters. And then I remembered I had these two orangey toadstools or mushrooms, so I'm going to add those because as a brownie, the toadstool is a really prominent symbol, or can be. So this is Happy Day with the two toadstools, and then it brings the mushrooms to the top and the bottom, so that's fun. And then I'm going to put this gold piece here, and then I'm going to take this cup that has flowers in it and shove the cup underneath, and an acorn up here to bring some of the gold up top. Still looking at these to see, this says baked fresh with love, and the sentiment would have worked really well on here, but I don't really have a spot for it anymore, so maybe one day on something. And then looking for something else, and I know I have some word stickers in the same gold, so I'm going to pull this one off that says celebrate. And thought about that one for a second, but no, that's good enough. The gold is in 3 spots now, so that makes me happy. And then I thought about these sequins, but they're not quite the right color, so I'm going to put them back. And I pulled out these black jewels, and so I'm just going to use the smallest ones, and I'm going to sprinkle them around my page. I'm going to get a couple more on after, and I am going to put the word brownie underneath Happy Day Celebrate. So my title is going to be Happy Day Celebrate Brownie, because she's a brownie, but I didn't decide I needed the brownie until after I was done. And then, yeah, it is what it is. So then I'm going to put some twine in here, and this is like a black and white tweed, which pulls in more of that black. And then I'm going to do my journaling, and so I'm just going to do the journaling on the back, and I'm going to draw lines because yeah. And this says, this was your first year's brownie and Girl Guides. At enrollment, they baked you as brownie and put you in the oven. You practice a lot. And so, because my head's in the way, you won't see me do all of the journaling, because, yeah. Then just slide that back in, and then this says pull. I think pull up is what it says. And then that just goes back in, and thought about that tab for just 1 second more, and I'm like, nope, this is good. And so here are some close-ups you'll see in the pictures here where I added the brownie. And that's a wrap on this page. Yay! Close-ups will be to follow. If you loved how this came together today, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share some crafty love in the comments below. Blogs, playlists, links, and anything else like that are always shared in the description box as well. Until next time, stay inspired, scrappy, and full of ideas. There'll be some links here that you can click onto coming up in a second after all the close-ups. There's a playlist here and another video. Thanks so much for being here today. Make sure you have a wonderful day.